we just got back from a really long trip in America where we went on a big old road trip.
We went to 3 different states and tried 3 different types of barbecue. And this video is all about our journey and figuring out which barbecue we prefer, just trying the different types, seeing what the barbecue landscape is about.
We're at the barbecue center in Lexington. So if you don't know what Lexington BBQ is, typically it's a pork shoulder which is cooked on charcoal and then chopped up nice and fine and served with a sauce which is made out of tomato, vinegar, sugar and some spices. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm pretty excited. So I guess we'll go in and have a go.
We start about 5 in the morning. Takes about 8 to 10 hours. About this time of day, we'll fire them every 45 minutes to an hour. To start with, we're every 30 minutes.
Okay. And how long does it take for a piece of pork to actually put it in?
8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10 hours? Okay, wow.
We cook the skin side up first. Then after about 3 to 4 hours, we'll flip that skin side down to cook that side. And then after another 3 to 4 hours, flip it back on this side to finish cooking and drain it. The hardest part is getting all the fat out. And we do the best we can to get it out, but sometimes you just aren't going to get it all. But the important things to get out are the gristle, the bones, and then some of the fat. We cut some of the brown meat off. The brown meat is actually a premium. We don't charge a premium for it, but it's, people ask for that because that's where your smoke flavor is.
We have a lot of barbecued pork. And George, you went for the combo platter?
Here there's 3 different ways you can get your pork. You can get sliced, chopped or coarse chopped. I went for sliced.
Yeah. And I went for the coarse chopped.
So we have a good variety.
Apparently sliced is the most popular option, but I thought I want to try a bit more chunkier kind of meat pieces.
And then we also got some hush puppies, red slaw, which is apparently the thing, and some onion rings, which don't really apply to barbecue, but
we just love onion rings, so we thought we'd give them a go. Red slaw is meant to be just like normal white coleslaw with barbecue sauce within it. The meat is very tender. You can tell it's been barbecued expertly because it does fall apart and like melt in your mouth.
I also got some chicken. The difference in flavour is actually quite surprising. I'm guessing that they probably cook the pork and the chicken with a different method because this tastes so smoky. It's definitely the forefront flavour. I wouldn't say it tastes particularly chickeny. It's more just smoke. But I kind of like it. It's nice. I do think though, the star of the show is probably the pork.
Or maybe the actual barbecue sauce itself, because as I'm dipping this pork in the barbecue sauce, it's just so tangy. They have somehow perfectly combined tomato and vinegar into one kind of runny, delicious sauce. I love the slaw. It tastes so fresh. You get a bit of the tanginess from the barbecue and the crunch. I think the thing that surprises me the most, so sometimes if you get like pork belly, flavor of the fat in a pork belly is very intensely porky. I think for some people that's quite off-putting and they don't necessarily like that. The flavor here, whilst it is porky, the porkiness is relatively subtle and it works well with the barbecue sauce.
Just also great value. Apparently this isn't even like the most budget barbecue in Lexington. And I still think it was like between $6 and $12 for anything on the menu. We're in Memphis.
We are indeed. We made it a bit more west in the USA. We are in the state of Tennessee now, and we're on to our second type of American barbecue.
Here we are at Central Barbecue. So this one's only been around since 2002, so it's not the most OG, but we've been tipped off by a few people that this is the spot. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm pretty hungry.
I'm very hungry. I haven't had breakfast. I'm ready to demolish some ribs. Let's go.
Memphis style barbecue. It starts with the seasoning. Once you get your meat nice and rubbed down, you want to marinate it. Marinate just as long as you're going to smoke it. 4 to 6 hours marinate, 4 to 6 hours smoking. Once you get it out, let it cool off, and you can eat it without the sauce. Good barbecue. Nothing gets better. Sauce later, but eat it dry first. Get the seasoning real good in there, and you know it's good barbecue.
So we just finished up eating. I ordered a half rack of ribs, which came with bread and 2 sides. I got the ribs dry but half glazed. Dry is the authentic way, but I wanted to try both aspects. So it's great that they do a half and half. Definitely the most full I've felt on the trip so far, which I think is a testament to how good it was.
And I ordered pretty much the same thing as George, except I got half a rack, but it was all dry. Because when we're speaking to Christian, the manager here, he was saying that that's how you can really judge a good barbecue, is if you can eat a dry rib and not put any sauce on it and for it to taste delicious. And I have to say that these are probably the best pork ribs I've ever had in my life. The texture of the meat was meaty, not overly dry, and the rub had like an actual distinctive smoky, sweet, and slightly paprika flavor to it that I enjoyed a lot. So I have to say, Memphis BBQ so far is definitely winning out. Like, I am a big fan of those ribs. Come here, it's not just about the ribs, make sure you try all their sides as well. Not all their sides, but perhaps some of your favorite sides. I had the pork rinds, the homemade chips, the barbecue beans, and the onion rings. Out of those four that I tried, the standouts by far were the beans and the pork rinds. I know we're from the UK and we love baked beans, but they got nothing on barbecue beans. The beans I've had here were probably some of the best beans of my life. Okay, so I guess that's it for Memphis style barbecue. Those ribs, man, those ribs.
They were good. It's not over yet. We've got one more stop, so we better get back on the road and head over to Austin.
George, why are you being lit up by an iPhone light?
Because it's like 7 a.m.
Why are you up at 7 a.m. unpacking a picnic chair?
Because I want to eat barbecue at 12 p.m.
Mate, are there people literally playing Guitar Hero in the light? I wouldn't be surprised if they've got like an actual barbecue with them. Hello and welcome to the line at Franklin's. We got here around 7 o'clock. Crazy situation. We weren't the first in line, despite...
we weren't even close to first.
Yeah, we weren't even close. The first person apparently got here like 5:20 a.m. They don't start serving till 11. It's like a good vibe. People all bring chairs. Everybody knows they're in for a long wait. So it's a fun thing to do. The final part of our barbecue journey in the South is going to be Texan barbecue. People say, experts say, food critics say, Franklin's is arguably the best barbecue on the planet, let alone Texas. Brisket is the main game in town here. Just made our order. We're also going to get some ribs and we're going to get some sausages as well.
I mean, if you're going to queue up for 5 hours, you might as well try most of the menus. So.
Like, this isn't the time to, like, you know, pull punches. This is when you go in hard. And I feel like we're going in hard with all the meat. The restaurant's about to open, I think, like, literally any second now. People are putting away their chairs. There's a buzz in the air. I could smell the smoke. I could almost taste the brisket.
It really went by quickly. I kind of did, yeah. It wasn't that bad at all.
And the anticipation has now built up so much. I was just like, just sheer excitement to have the food.
I mean, it's quite amazing because everyone else has also gone through this journey and is so excited to be inside. Like the amount of people that are pulling out their phone to take a selfie, that they're inside, they're buying the merch.
I feel like we're part of something bigger than just barbecue.
You said you like burnt ends? Right, we came up here just in time. So we got your brisket, ribs, sausage, any pulled pork or turkey, yo?
No.
You sure? No?
I mean, is the pulled pork worth it? Like, would you recommend
Here,
it?
just try some.
Okay, oh, thank you, dude.
All right.
Behind me, sat next to Meat Mountain. I guess it would only be right to film the first reaction from a first bite. We've already had a little taster of brisket. So I'm gonna go in with a rib first. Or do you think I should do brisket? Oh, fine, let's get a bit of brisket. Guess we go in. I don't know how you pick a right piece. It's pretty delicious. So warm, moist is a gross word, but in a good way, you know? Like, that meat is so juicy still, but the fat really like coats the palate. It's like not fatty in a bad way, it's like fatty in a really, really nice way. And the smoke level is actually a lot less than I was expecting it would be, but I really like that. It's really nice for it not to be like too in your face, too smoky, everything super mellow, but like harmonious.
I've just had a piece of the burnt ends because we were lucky to get burnt ends, and oh, the fat rendering. It's rendered so well, it's become sticky. It's become like a glutinous rice. That's how like well it's rendered. I know I've said a lot on this trip. This is potentially the best something I've had. This is by far the best brisket I've had. Like, my mind is made up, especially after that burnt end. There's like no debate. I can't understand how fat can be transformed into something quite so delicious. Okay, finished up with the meal. Got a lovely tour of the behind the scenes. That was really nice.
Yeah.
I feel like despite it being super busy there, they really put an extra effort to make sure that, you know, whatever your desires are, that they listen to. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like service was still incredible. Like for something like this, also when it's like counter service and you take your stuff back to the table,
yeah.
still really good service.
And like they're just so busy and so popular, you know, they could get away with like not caring and just being like abrupt or whatever, and people would still queue up. But no, they actually they're just nice.
I think it would actually be interesting working there because imagine the kind of clientele that you got coming in is so varied. So many people from everywhere in the world know of this place and come here. So
That's true. Plus, you learn how to make bomb briskets. Is the hype worth it? Me personally, it definitely was, because this is by far the best brisket I've had in my life. As I said, the rendition of the fat rendering here was like nothing I've experienced before. The wet brisket that we had, when you pulled it, it had that like textbook, like springiness to it. The bark was also textbook. Just like the fat was insane. Like everything that I would be looking for in a good brisket was there, and it really delivered.
it's not trying to like rewrite the book.
No.
It's just trying to do it right.
Yeah.
And like don't come in here expecting it to be like leagues different from anything else, because it doesn't like redefine the brisket, it just does it horribly perfectly. So
Yeah.
as long as you got like the realistic expectations, I think you'll definitely be overly happy.
I mean, and I guess like for us, this is what this journey, the barbecue journey, is about. It's about trying the OG, true to the recipe, true to the reputation of the location barbecue.
Yeah.
So this really delivered. I feel like.
Yeah.
What else
I'd
could
be
you do better?
surprised if
What
there
could
was
you do
better
better?
brisket. I would be surprised.
I don't really know what you could do better for brisket.